Okay, and then I'm going to go into presentation mode. All right, can you guys see my screen that says ETS strong? Okay, they set me up in here with this dual split screen, and I don't know what I'm doing except for half the time I'm looking away from the camera. So, but welcome everyone. My name's Elizabeth Richards. We have Michelle Johnson, our fearless leader, on with us. Many of you know that I'm in the ed leadership track to kind of walk in her footsteps, but right now I'm giving her shoes back and have no desire to be an administrator, at least for school year 2020, 2021. But I do welcome all of you to the Questions Trail School Advisory Council. And I'm going to tell you, those of you who are new, a little bit about what we do in this. Most of the parents usually come because Mrs. Johnson has coffee and her little coffee break afterwards. I'm not sure what I have to offer you this year, but hopefully one day we will be able to return to Mrs. Johnson, her little coffee break after the School Advisory Council, hopefully soon. So, but I would like to welcome everyone and say this is my new little logo, ETS Strong. Together we can do virtually anything. And we proved that last year that together we can do virtually anything. And we're going to start off this school year with the same kind of motto going on until we get back brick and mortar, and together we will get through this, and no matter how we have to do it. So Mrs. Johnson, is Ms. DeQuee on right now? I just wanted to introduce her if she was.
No.
Okay, I'm here. Let's see. Again, my name's Elizabeth Richards. I'm your School Advisory Council chairperson from school year 2020. I think I've served 6 or 7 or 8 or some years doing this. So I am not voted in for this year as of yet, but what we do is we just continue our position until we vote, okay? Barbie Murad is on here as well, and she is our co-chairperson, so she's joining us. Connie Sterling is our records keeper, and she does maintain all of our records for that. She was voted in last year. And then Kathy Frizzell, who is our ELL teacher here. She is the person that takes our minutes for us. So I want to thank them for participating in our meeting. So this is our new way. This is our new life. We're doing it virtually. We usually meet in the cafeteria, room 204, usually at 8:05 in the morning, just after morning announcements. Mrs. Johnson runs upstairs after morning announcements to start our School Advisory Council meeting, but you know, we're looking a little different today. So going in, for those of you that are new to it, as a member of the School Advisory Council, you are a very important person. You and your fellow council members are entrusted with the improvement of your public school. So this is kind of like the governing body of our school, and we do get to vote on certain things, but probably the most important thing we're tasked at is voting on the school improvement plan. So we wanted to kind of get started early this year so we can get everybody registered, so we can get you in, so we can vote on that. So moving on, I'm going to share our agenda for today. So let me just go over here. Sorry, as I look away. So I'll go through the agenda just briefly. It is on 2 pages, and then we'll go back and look at each individual item. So the first one is the meeting was called to order. We did that at 3 o'clock. Welcome and introductions. The adoption of the agenda is what we're going to do in just a minute as soon as I go through it. The public comments on specific agenda items. It is recommended that the general public sign up to speak prior to the call of order, and that you limit the amount of time for each speaker. We usually allow about 2 minutes. General information about the School Advisory Council and responsibilities of its members. We'll go through our new business, which is going to be talking about membership. The next slide, we'll talk about leadership reports. That's when Mrs. Johnson kind of catches you guys all up on the beginning of the school year. And we'll also talk about the school improvement plan timeline. Again, that's probably our most important task that we have as a School Advisory Council. At the end of the meeting, we'll have questions and comments that are non-specific to our agenda items. Then we'll move on to just our closing remarks. We need to decide on future meeting dates. We are not able to vote today because we are not a voting body as of yet, but we can go ahead and discuss when our next meeting will be. And then at our next meeting, we'll discuss how many, what day we want. And we still have 6 meetings left after that, that we are required to have. And then we'll adjourn our meeting. So if I could have somebody just by a raise of hand to go ahead and motion to approve our agenda. Okay, Honeycutt, thank you. And if I could get someone to second that. Okay, Jen Kramer, thank you. All right, so today's meeting is recorded. It is a public record. We do have to follow the sunshine law as we have all of our meetings. So basically it's what it's stating is that it is open to the public. You will get notification of our meetings prior to them. We usually push those out on Facebook. They are on our school webpage. And there's many other ways that we try. Usually when you're in school, you get a flyer in the homework folder. So we'll start that back as we get through the year. But once you are a registered voter, then I do send you an email reminder that has the new agenda as well as the minutes from our prior meeting. So once we get everyone signed in, you guys will be able to start receiving that. Minutes of the meeting must be taken and promptly recorded. So Mrs. Frizzell is our person that is doing that for us this evening. So that's basically the scope of the Sunshine Law. So when we look at new business, we have to do a membership selection for this school year. Parents vote in parents, teachers vote in teachers, staff votes in staff. And so what we do is we're going to create a ballot, but I need you guys to sign in and also complete a form. It's called the 1710 form, the School Advisory Council Membership Report. And I'm just going to show you that we do have that on the ETES webpage. So when you log into our webpage, underneath the link called School Information, you will find the School Advisory Council page there. Underneath that, the first item is the School Advisory Council Membership Report. You will need to click on that and complete that form. That form goes to Mrs. Johnson, and Mrs. Johnson is able to see who our voting members are. And as a voting member, you do need to attend at least 6 of our 8 meetings. At every meeting, we have to have a quorum present, which means 50% of parents and business partners plus 1 have to be in attendance, meaning that the teachers, faculty, and staff cannot outnumber the parents. And that's our kind of our assurance that you guys are part of the whole process. So it can't be the faculty and staff that approves the school improvement plan or voting on any of the money, that it really is in the hands of the community and the parents with that. We also have a SAC sign-in. You would have typically done that when you came in, where you provide your email to me. Underneath of that, when you click into that, it is a Google form, and where you'll list your first and your last name and then place all your information in there as to whether or not you are a parent, a business partner, or part of the ETS faculty and staff. Business partners, you are very important to us. So parents, those of you that run your own business, if you are a parent, you can sign in as a business partner as well. And then we'll try to recruit some other business partners to start participating in our virtual meetings. The SAC agenda is on there, and that's normally where we hold our SAC agendas, as well as our minutes underneath this page. And then there's also a form in there that's called general information for our SAC members. And that's kind of, if before you fill out all the other forms, if you want to find out, what am I really getting myself into? But as I said at the beginning, I've been doing this for many, many years. I don't know if it's been 7 or 8. We just keep adopting the bylaws that allows me to stay 1 more year. But I stay because I really enjoy my time with, meeting with the parents. This forum is so wonderful. Everybody gets along. We're able to discuss very important topics, but we do so with respect and appreciation for everyone. And that's why I stay. So if any of you are kind of scared with all the little legal stuff that I'm talking about, it's not like that at all. It's actually a really nice time for us to come together and really kind of shape where we want our school to go. So I would encourage you to continue to participate and not let all this legal stuff kind of scare you away from it. So I am going to go to our next slide, and that is actually going to be Mrs. Johnson as she takes over this. Again, like I said, I'm glad I'm not Mrs. Johnson this year.
I'll be quick. There's no new information. Now, goodbye.
We can't hear you.
For what like I said, for those of you that are came on the beginning, we've been working really hard to get ready for the whole distance learning, while at the same time knowing that the county is pretty much going to go back into phase 2 pretty soon, trying to get ready for coming back to brick and mortar. So following the CDC guidelines and getting classrooms ready has pretty much been our focus for the last few days, as well as getting devices still to families. I still have quite a few families that are in need of devices. I know they keep asking on a daily basis, and I wish I had better information, but I'm still waiting on a shipment from the district. But at this time, we're moving forward like a regular school year. The state has said we still have FSA. I'm working on preparing the school improvement plan. I do have to submit it by September 18th. So, Ms. Richards was going over the times for us to meet. We can kind of decide time we want to meet after we get through the submission of the school improvement plan. Right now that the state has allowed us to continue to meet right now, like we're doing through a Google Meet. But after September, I believe that we have to go back to live meetings, which is fine. We'll go back to 204 in our coffee club. We'll just have to separate a little bit better. If we have to, use the media center somewhere where you have more space. But we are still focused on the school improvement plan. We're using the data from FSA the year before last, and we're using diagnostic data from this past year because we did not take the FSA this year. But for me, that's just kind of been my focus, trying to get the school ready. It's a big job. I was joking around with Miss Richards on how she changed her clothes because we have been moving furniture like crazy around in order to get all the students inside their classrooms and, again, practicing all the guidelines. You will receive a survey either this afternoon or Monday morning from the district. It's another survey regarding your intention of when we come back on phase 2, if you're going to remain distant or you are going to come back to the school. I will be doing several call outs, but it's imperative that maybe if you help spread the word that I have got to have that information so that we can prepare to the best of our ability here at school. Other than that, like I said, when we're looking at dates, Ms. Richards, we just have to know that I've got to submit by September 18th. So it normally takes me at least 3 or 4 days to get all the signatures and all that stuff and all the paperwork in. So other than that, I do plan on, like I said, returning to normalcy as soon as possible. And I will go back to having our coffee club in that time that you can ask more questions and we can have that kind of off the record talk. So, but it was nice, so nice seeing your faces, even if you are a small block on my camera right now. Just going to try to make this year as exciting and as normal for the kids as possible. Our focus this year, just so you know, for professional development is going to be on social emotional learning. We are going to focus on the students and their the way they're feeling emotionally right now and kind of what we've gone through. I think it's the most important thing for us to work on, because without that, we really can't move forward academically anyways. And I know that I've talked to some students and they are scared to come back or they have concerns, and, we want to be there to help them through all that. And, so that's going to be the focus this year. But other than that, nice seeing you, and thank you so much for being here today.
Okay, so just moving on through the agenda, are there any questions or comments that are non-agenda related items that anyone would like to ask at this time? Okay, at this time I don't see anyone and I don't hear anyone. All right, so like I said earlier, I need you to go to our school website, click into there and find our under school information, find our SAC homepage and click into there. I need you to do our that form as well as the Google form. So one is for the district and one is for us that we'll maintain. That'll help me set up my emails here. If any of your friends that you know of weren't able to join us this afternoon, if you would please encourage them to go ahead and fill out that form. We will place that information again on Facebook. I'll get Mr. Berger to help us out there getting that posted. But those are probably our two most important things so that we can get our ballot. We are going to use that sign-in sheet as our ballot for our next one for parents to vote in parents. Okay. So as far as our next meeting, so Mrs. Johnson has to have the school improvement plan done by September 18th. Is that correct, Michelle? Okay. Yeah. So September 18th is when we have to submit it. So my proposal is to meet on Tuesday, September 15th. So Mrs. Johnson, I need you to make sure that you have your calendar up at 8:05 a.m. We'll go back to the morning meetings. I'm hoping that they continue to, at some point, update it where we can continue our virtual meetings, because obviously in just a couple of weeks, I don't think we'd be very comfortable, but I will make sure that I maintain this virtual option if we are allowed to, even if we do have in-person, because I know many of you obviously are at home with your children and wouldn't be able to. So I'm assuming they are going to update it and pass the law that allows us to continue to meet virtually. But at this time, it would be an in-person meeting. And again, I'll also offer the Google link for many of you as well.
Ms. Richards?
Yes.
If school's open on the 14th, so we have no date, I will not be, nor will you or any other teacher on this be able to meet at 8 o'clock by no means, shape, or form. So it's okay to do that day. I have an elementary, I have a meeting at, well, right now I have a meeting at that Tuesday may not be a good day. I have
even at 3 o'clock, if we wanted to do another 3 o'clock.
I have a elementary department meeting that will go till 4.
Okay. How about Wednesday at 3 o'clock?
That's better for me.
Okay. So is there anyone opposed to meeting Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock, September the 16th? Go ahead and turn on your mic because I'm not able to see all of you. Okay, so at this time, our next meeting will be held on Wednesday, September the 16th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And if I get your email on the sign-in sheet, I will also send you a reminder email with the agenda. And again, that's a very, very important meeting because that's when we will go to ahead and approve our school improvement plan and discuss that. All right, so at this time, our meeting is adjourned at 3:22 in the afternoon. So I appreciate all of you, and I can't wait to see your children one day walking back through the doors of Equestrian Trail. So everybody take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
May I ask you a question while you're still here?
As long as it has nothing to do with the school advisory council, because it's a public meeting, but if it's in general, absolutely.
Are meetings normally at 3 o'clock, not 8 o'clock?
No, well, in brick and mortar, we usually like to do it. We actually found more parents showed up at 8 o'clock in the morning when we polled them. So at our next meeting, we'll actually go ahead and vote as a voting body to decide those dates. But for many years, we've actually done them at 8:05 in the morning just because we have so many parent volunteers that come on campus that we always had a huge turnout for it. And then Mrs. Johnson would offer her principal coffee after that. I think the last time we did evening meetings was probably 7 or 8 years ago, kind of like the high school. I guess you're with the high school. So it's been a long time since we've done it that way. So.
Okay. So I filled the paper out, but I couldn't be at 8 o'clock meetings. So
okay,
asking.
Yeah, join in with us, and then you'll be part of that next vote, and we'll decide because it may end up being a majority of people that aren't also able to meet at 8 o'clock in the morning. just because the kids hopping on Google Meets and everything, it may not be ideal for this year. So we may end up having to look at, looking at the reality of all kids are starting at 8 a.m. And if you guys are also the parents at home doing that might not be ideal.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great afternoon.